The room was silent. Too silent. Ambassador Elias Gray stood tall in the center of the grand chamber of the Galactic Council. He wore a clean black uniform, marked with Earth's simple silver crest, a symbol of peace, not war. Around him sat the leaders of 17 alien empires. Some had scales, some had fur, some floated without bodies. All stared at Elias with cold, distant eyes. They had just signed the peace treaty. But Elias felt no peace. He smiled politely, the way diplomats are trained to do, but inside something twisted in his chest. A sharp, heavy feeling, like betrayal, had a weight. The last words of the treaty echoed in his ears. Earth shall surrender control of 5 border colonies in return for peace. His fingers trembled, just slightly. Those 5 colonies held millions of human lives, workers, families, children. He had begged Earth's leaders not to agree, but Earth was tired. So tired. For 70 years, humanity had fought, lost, rebuilt, and hoped. Each time peace was close, the aliens changed the rules. Each time Earth reached out with open hands, they were slapped away. Now, Earth was desperate. Its leaders thought surrendering 5 colonies would bring lasting peace. Elias knew better. He looked across the table at High Chancellor Zor, the insectoid ruler of the Threx Dominion. Her eyes were wide and black like glass. She smiled too, but hers was different. Her smile was the kind that came right before a trap closed. The hidden betrayal. 3 hours after the peace talk, Elias walked alone through the hallways of the Galactic Council building. His boots echoed on the polished floor. He pulled a small device from his pocket, an encrypted communicator. A voice answered. It was soft and familiar. Elias? It was Admiral Rana, commander of Earth's outer fleet. Did they start the evacuation? Elias asked. Silence. Then Rana's voice shaking. No time. The colonies, they were attacked. Elias froze. His heart stopped. Attacked? By who? The Threx. Minutes after the treaty was signed, they sent warships. Said the colonies were now legally theirs. No warnings. No survivors in 3 colonies. We lost contact with the other 2. Elias said nothing. His hand clenched the communicator until his knuckles turned white. Behind him, he heard soft footsteps. A tall figure appeared. Ambassador Rule of the Keldari Empire. I'm sorry, Rule said quietly. You knew, Elias whispered. You all knew. Rule did not deny it. It was the price for peace, he said. Peace for who? Elias asked, voice trembling. You let them kill millions. Rule looked away. You humans are resilient. You'll recover. Better for the galaxy if the council stays strong. Elias laughed, just once. A cold, empty laugh. Then he turned and walked away, without another word. Back on Earth, the sky over New Geneva was gray. Rain tapped the glass of the Earth Defense Hall. President Amara stood by the window as Elias entered. She didn't speak. She didn't turn. I saw the reports, Elias said. We trusted them, Amara replied. Her voice was dry, dead. We gave up our own people to stop the bleeding, and they burned them. Elias nodded. And now? Amara turned finally, her eyes dark. Now? She repeated. We bury our dead. Then we stop being the ones who forgive. The shift 2 weeks passed. The news was everywhere. Earth betrayed after peace deal. 5 colonies gone. No warning. No survivors. The galaxy expected humans to cry and rebuild. Instead, Earth grew silent. No angry broadcasts, no threats, no pleas. Just silence. Alien leaders called it shock. Some called it weakness. A few feared it was something worse. They were right. In a secret base under Antarctica, Earth's top military minds gathered. The silent room. No signals in, no signals out. Admiral Rana stood at the center. Around her were commanders, engineers, scientists, and one ghost, Commander Rhea. She had vanished 3 years ago after the death of her children in another accidental council strike. Rumors said she died. Others said she left Earth too broken to serve. Now she was back, and her eyes were colder than space. She placed a black cube on the table. A prototype. The others stared. "This is Project Eclipse," she said. "What does it do?" a young officer asked. Rhea looked at him. "It makes stars go dark." The last message Elias stood before the council one last time. A meeting called to address tensions. He wore the same uniform. But the polite smile was gone. "I will not read from prepared notes," he began. Gasps filled the room. Alien leaders exchanged nervous looks. Humans always followed rules, always played fair. Not today. "You offered peace and gave us graves," Elias said calmly. "You shook our hands while pointing guns at our children. Now you ask for calm, understanding, patience." He paused. The room was quiet. "But you made one mistake. One fatal mistake." His eyes locked onto Chancellor Zor. "You thought our silence was weakness." He reached into his coat. Guards jumped, but he only pulled out a black data crystal. "I leave this for your historians," he said. "It will help them understand what comes next." He turned to walk away. A voice called from behind. "Wait! What is this? A threat?" Elias stopped. He looked over his shoulder. "No," he said. "A promise." The fallout across alien space, strange things began to happen. A patrol ship vanished without trace. No wreckage, no signal. A defense station found its power grid drained in seconds. One trade convoy saw a black object pass them silently. 1 minute it was there. The next, gone. 2 hours later, their command ship exploded. No weapons detected. Then came the whispers. "The humans have changed. They don't speak. They strike." "Something is coming," the council tried to respond. But their meetings were slower now. Some members didn't show up. Others blamed each other. Trust cracked, and still, Earth said nothing. They didn't need to. The final scene, suspense cliffhanger. Somewhere deep in the Kuros Nebula, an old mining station blinked red. An alarm, movement detected. The control officer, a tall reptilian, watched the screen. He zoomed in. A ship. Human in design, but not in any database. Sleek, silent, blacker than space. It approached slowly. No weapons active, no lights. The officer opened a channel. "This is Station Theta 4. Identify yourself." No answer. Again. "Identify. This is Council territory." The ship stopped. Then a message appeared on screen. Just 3 words. "We remember everything." The screen went dark. Then the stars behind the station disappeared. The alien salvage team floated through the cold darkness near the edge of the Varan cluster. Their scanners had picked up something strange. An old human cargo ship drifting alone in space. No lights, no signal, no response. Captain Threll of the Varlock Union gave the order. "Board it. Take anything useful." The team entered the silent ship. No one was inside. No signs of battle, no blood, no broken systems. Only one thing remained, burned into the inner wall of the bridge. 3 words. "We." "Remember everything." Captain Threll stepped back. Then he saw something worse. The ship had been hollowed out from the inside, like something, or someone, had been testing weapons from within, and it was left there for someone to find. Alien powers begin to worry in. The days after the last peace talk, strange events kept happening. A Keldari patrol ship near the human border vanished without trace. A Threx scouting unit sent a warning. New human technology, unseen, undetectable. Then they too were gone. Other empires began pulling back their ships from Earth's borders, just to be safe. The Galactic Council demanded answers, but Earth gave none. No press conferences, No ambassadors, no demands, just silence. A silence that felt heavy, like a storm waiting to fall. Inside the silent fleet far beyond Pluto, where no alien ship dared to go, a hidden base floated in the shadows. It was not marked on any map. No signals came from it. No light escaped. It was called Eclipse Station. Inside, Commander Rhea stood in front of a massive hollow map. Around her, silent officers in black uniforms worked without speaking. This was not Earth's main fleet. This was something else. These were the forgotten, the hidden, the broken. Pilots whose families were lost in betrayals. Engineers exiled after questioning peace. Soldiers who saw too much and lived. Now, they were the silent fleet, and they were ready. The test strike target, Keldari Listening Post. 77. Location, Border World. Light defenses, no civilians. The order was simple. Erase it. Single human ship approached. Black metal. No ID. No engine signature. The aliens didn't see it until it was already above them. They sent a warning signal. No answer. They activated shields. Too late. A white flash. Silence. When backup arrived, nothing remained. Not even debris. Only a hole. In space. Like the station was erased from history. Alien panic grows. The news spread fast. An entire station destroyed by one ship? Impossible, they said. But there was video. A quick, shaky image from a surviving probe. A dark, triangle-shaped vessel. Silent. Untouchable. And 3 words broadcast on a loop after the explosion. You taught us this. Panic spread through the Galactic Council. Are the humans attacking us? Asked one leader. They haven't. Claimed responsibility, said another. They don't need to, said Chancellor Zor. We know who it is. Some empires wanted war, some wanted to retreat, but one question haunted them all. What else have the humans built in the dark? Human strategy, fear without words, back on Eclipse Station, Commander Rhea met with Elias Gray and Admiral Rana. We are not here to conquer, she said. We are here to make them feel what we felt. Elias nodded slowly. So far, we've used whispers, shadows, messages, but what if they ignore that? Rhea turned toward the star map. Her finger pointed at a critical trade hub, Gorath Prime. Then we make them scream. A small civilian encounter in a far system. A small alien ship carrying researchers found a strange object floating in space. It was a human drone. Dead. Damaged. They pulled it inside. Then the lights went out. The ship's captain, a young alien named Ear, walked toward the bridge in the dark. A screen flickered. A human face appeared, pale, calm, recorded. We begged for peace. You gave us pain. We stayed silent. Now we speak without words. Then the ship's systems returned. No damage, no attack, just one change. The words, "Remember us," burned into every surface of the ship's walls. Alien empires. Turn on each other. In the council chamber, fear turned to blame. You said the humans were broken, one leader shouted. You said they wouldn't fight back, screamed another. Earth must have had help. Someone leaked our defense grids. Accusations flew. Alliances cracked. Old enemies pointed fingers. The humans didn't need to attack. Tropies. Council was breaking itself. Earth's silence grows louder. A message was sent from the Council to Earth. We demand peace discussions. Let us speak before war spreads. No reply. Another message. We wish to meet. We can return some colonies. No reply. Then, one last message from Earth's Defense Ministry. We no longer accept your words. We listen only to action. Be silent, or be still. The alien nightmare grows in the outer rim. A Varnathi freighter convoy drifted slowly across a gas field. It was late, quiet. Then the stars vanished above them. A massive ship moved through the gas, larger than anything they'd seen. No heat, no sound. It didn't fire. It just passed through the convoy. When it was gone, half the freighters were empty. Crews gone. Doors melted open. Inside one ship, only a message remained, scratched into the wall. Your crimes are not forgotten. Closing scene. Suspense cliffhanger. A Council scout ship was sent to explore near old Earth battlefields. They hoped to find signs of the silent fleet. They found something else. A field of destroyed ships, some human, some alien, but none of V. Them were in records, old, unknown. The scout captain saw something floating among the wreckage, a beacon. He activated it. A voice played, human, calm, cold. This is what we built while you watched us suffer. Then the scout ship's systems froze, engines dead, lights gone. In the dark, a message burned onto the front window. You forgot who we are. The last message from Colony 12 came at 0237 Galactic time. It was short, one line. They're here. Then silence. No distress signal, no emergency beacon. Nothing. Colony 12, a peaceful mining world with 60,000 humans, was gone. No trace. No survivors. The Galactic Council blamed pirates, but pirates don't erase whole planets. And humans. They said nothing. No threats. No cries. Only a new message appeared across private channels in bold red text. You took one. We took one. Flashback. What Colony 12 meant to Earth, Colony 12 was special. It wasn't rich. It wasn't powerful. But it was home. Children grew up under its orange skies. Miners worked long hours, dreaming of Earth. Farmers raised animals in low-gravity domes. It was simple. It was peaceful. And after the treaty, it was supposed to be safe. But the Threx Empire wanted its rare minerals. They sent warships 2 weeks. After the peace deal, no warnings, no evacuations, they called it a legal transfer of property. Earth watched it happen and said nothing. Now, in the shadows of Revenge Elias, Gray sat alone in a dark room aboard Eclipse Station. A screen played the last drone footage from Colony 12. Smoke, fire, children running, then static. Commander Rhea entered, holding a small black box. They confirmed it, she said. We found the Threx commander who led the Colony 12 strike. Elias looked up. Alive? Rhea's lips curled into a cold smile. Not for long. But before he died, he talked. She placed the box on the table, a recording device. They listened. The Threx commander's voice was full of pride. We broke your colony. You did nothing. The Council protects us. You humans are just noise, screaming into the dark. The recording ended. Elias said nothing. For a moment. Then he stood. Then let's show them what our silence really means. Alien Council in panic, the Council chamber buzzed with fear. A report had just arrived. Colony 7 of the Threx Empire, one of their largest outer colonies, had gone dark. No attack alerts. No messages, just silence. An investigation ship was sent. What they found shocked the galaxy. The colony was there, but completely empty. Buildings untouched. No damage, no bodies, just one thing left behind. Every screen showed the same message. Colony. So for Colony 7. Reactions across the galaxy. The news hit hard. Alien empires who once saw humans as weak, now paused. One by one, colonies near Earth's border went into lockdown. Fleets were moved. Trade stopped. Spies vanished. But it was too late. Humanity wasn't launching full-scale wars. They were choosing targets carefully. Quietly. A colony, here. A battleship there. Always silent. Always fast, and always with a message. We remember. The ghost ship, a cargo ship from the Varnathi Empire, was returning from a supply run. Midway through its route, it stopped responding. A search ship found it drifting near a dead star. No life signs. The crew was missing. No damage to the ship. Cargo untouched. Only the bridge was changed. On every surface, someone or something had carved the same 3 words. Where were you? The Varnathi Council panicked. They had voted for the treaty. They had accepted the Threx deal. Now they feared they were on Earth's list. Earth's message becomes clear back on Earth. President Amara addressed her generals. The council believed we would always follow, she said. Always obey, always bow. She looked at the screen behind her. It showed maps of alien space, red marks blinking across them. But we're not begging for peace anymore. We tried peace. They gave us fire. She paused. Now we answer with shadows. Alien empires. Turn on the Threx. The Threx Empire begged for help. Their colonies were being picked off. Their fleets found nothing. Their spies returned blind. The other empires stayed silent. None wanted to be next. One by one, they backed away from the Threx. The once powerful insectoids now stood alone. They had started the fire, and Earth was feeding. It back to them, piece by piece. Secret mission. Black Echo Commander Rhea led a special team called Black Echo. No uniforms, no names. Just missions. They had one task: find everyone responsible for Colony 12 and make sure they disappeared, not just killed, erased. No glory, no noise, only fear. Their ship, Wraith 1, was invisible to most sensors. They flew straight into Threx. Space. Past 10 defense stations. No alarms, and they arrived at Outpost Var X, where the Threx war plan was written. 37 high-ranking officials were inside. 37 didn't leave. Next day, the station was found empty. No damage. No blood, only a message scrawled in ash. We don't forget. Final scene. Chilling cliffhanger. In a dark part of space, a council listening post received a new signal. It was in Earth's old language, not used for years. It took hours to decode. What they found shook them. It was a video. A view of a peaceful Threx city, now dark, and a human voice speaking calmly. You taught us that peace is a lie. Now we teach you the price of betrayal. This is only the beginning. The screen faded. Then the camera turned to a human face. It was Commander Rhea. She looked straight into the lens and said softly, Colony 12 is gone, but so is your safety. Then static. The moons above Varan 6 were quiet. The stars sparkled peacefully like nothing was wrong. Then the lights in the sky began to go out, one by one. It wasn't natural. Something massive was blocking them. The Varan defense tower sent out a scan. What came back wasn't possible. Over 200 human warships, black, silent, without ID or signal, were sitting in orbit. No warning, no demands, just there, watching. The system's commander, High Warden Tal Resh, stared at the screen. His hands were shaking. How did they get this close without us knowing? One of his officers whispered, They were already here, just waiting. The world learns the silent fleet is real. Until now, most alien leaders believed the silent fleet was just a myth, a story to scare enemies, a human rumor, a bluff. But now, systems across the galaxy were reporting the same thing. Entire fleets appearing from nowhere, no heat signatures, no comms. Then, gone again. They didn't shoot first, they didn't speak, but every time they appeared, something disappeared soon after. A supply depot, a military lab, a shipyard, a commander. The silent fleet wasn't attacking randomly. They were hunting. Inside, the fleet, the war room commander Rhea, stood at the center of a massive holographic room aboard the dreadnought Vindicator. Around her were captains, men and women from Earth's forgotten ships, old colonies and lost missions. This wasn't Earth's official navy. These were ghosts, survivors, rebels. Every one of them had lost someone during the so-called peace years. Now they had returned, not for war, for justice. Rhea looked at the map. 30 red lights blinked. Targets, she said. 30 sites connected to Colony 12's destruction. We take them one by one. Admiral Rana spoke quietly. And if the Council attacks? Ria's eyes turned cold. Then we make the stars burn. Strike 1, the frozen shipyard location, Threx Empire's shipyard at Drenath Core. It was one of their biggest ship factories, building cruisers and troop transports. The attack lasted only 2 minutes. The humans never fired a shot. They released a special weapon, cryo-silence, a freezing mist that moved through metal and circuits like poison. When the Threx workers woke up, the entire shipyard was frozen in time. Systems locked, ships unusable, and on the control tower's wall, someone had etched, "Justice is colder than space." Alien leaders try to hide the truth. The Council ordered media blackouts. No news reports, no public broadcasts. They told the galaxy it was pirates, solar storms, or technical errors. But the people knew. Whispers grew. They're back. Humanity isn't weak anymore. They're everywhere. And nowhere. The Council held emergency talks. Some wanted to attack Earth with full force. Others begged for new peace talks, but it didn't matter. The humans weren't waiting for words anymore. The silent fleet had moved. Inside the enemy's mind, the Fear Grows High Warden, Tal Resh, sat in his war chamber, watching footage of the silent fleet. He had once called humans a fading species. Now he saw their ships cut through Threx territory like blades through paper. Their weapons were silent, their tactics perfect, their message clear. He turned to his advisors. "We can't fight this," he said. "Not with numbers, not with force." One advisor spoke. "Then what do we do?" Tal Resh answered, "We pray they stop." Flashback, how the Silent Fleet was built years ago while Earth's leaders signed peace deals and treaties. A small group of military leaders disagreed. They saw the truth. The Council didn't want peace. They wanted control. So these humans vanished. Quietly. They stole old ships, took forgotten tech, built weapons in asteroid fields and black zones. They trained in silence, hid in shadows. For 20 years, they prepared, waiting for the day humanity would need them. That day had come. Civilian reaction, fear and hope across the galaxy. Alien civilians had mixed feelings. Some feared the Silent Fleet. Stories of entire cities vanishing made people lock their doors and avoid space travel. But others began to speak quietly in support. The humans begged for peace. We betrayed them. They lost colonies, families, worlds. They have a right to strike back. Some even called it the fire of justice. And slowly, people stopped fearing Earth. They started fearing their own leaders. A council trap. Failed. The council set a trap. They leaked false data about a secret weapons lab, then placed 50 battleships around it, waiting. But the Silent Fleet never showed. Instead, every council ship in the trap zone received the same message. While you waited for ghosts, we erased your real weapons depot. The council checked. It was true. Their most powerful research station, hidden in a gas cloud, was now gone, melted into the planet's surface. Back on Earth, a single-sentence President Amara stood in front of the Earth Council. Behind her, screens showed the Council's panic. The empires were scared, divided, weak. She raised one hand. "Our enemies never expected us to rise," she said. She paused, then added, "They forgot who taught them fear." Cliffhanger, the warning before fire. At the end of this part, we return to space. A council diplomat ship approaches Earth, flying slowly, unarmed. Inside, Ambassador Yaru carries a white flag symbol. He opens a channel. "We come in peace. Please. Respond." No answer. "We seek a meeting with Earth's leaders." No answer. Suddenly, one human ship appears, sleek, dark, no markings. Yaru gulps. "Please, we just want to talk." A human voice finally responds. "Then start with this. What did you do to Colony 12? The screen goes black, and the diplomat ship is left floating alone, as more human ships slowly surround it, like sharks in the deep. The Grand Council Hall was supposed to be unshakable, massive, golden, built on the planet Faroon. It had stood for 600 years as a place where empires made peace. But now, shouting filled the chamber. Ambassadors from a dozen species were pointing, fingers, accusing, screaming. You said humans were under control. You pushed the Threx to attack Colony 12. We voted for peace, and now our colonies are vanishing. In the middle of the chaos, the Speaker of the Council slammed a gavel. Order! But there was no more order, because the fear had spread, and everyone now knew one truth. The humans weren't coming with words anymore. They were coming with silence. The fracture begins. The Zern Confederacy, once close allies of the Threx, made a sudden announcement. We no longer recognize the Council's leadership. We will speak to Earth directly. Gasps filled the chamber. The Threx delegate shouted, "You're betraying the Alliance!" The Zern replied coldly, "We're surviving." Within a day, 3 more mid-tier empires followed. They pulled out of trade deals, closed their borders, began talks with Earth. The Council's walls were cracking, and behind those cracks, something darker was rising, the rise of human shadow networks. While the silent fleet struck from space, another force moved on the ground, human intelligence agents, not soldiers. Not loud, just whispers in the dark. They spread through alien cities like smoke, turning old allies into secret informants, corrupting supply chains, exposing secrets. In 1 week, over 200 alien officials were arrested, exposed as spies for Earth. On the Council's main media channel, a leaked video played a high-ranking Threx general caught speaking to a human AI agent. His voice trembled. "You said if we gave you the shipyard codes, you'd spare our colony." The AI's reply was simple. "We said we'd consider it. Inside Earth's shadow program. Project Ghostlight." Back on Earth, deep under the Rocky Mountains, a hidden base called Ghostlight ran the most secret human missions. It had no windows, no broadcasts, no nameplates, only screens showing. Every movement across Council space, operatives wore no ranks, no flags. They didn't exist officially. Their leader was a woman named Director Solon. She stood in a glass room with a map of the galaxy, red lights blinking as targets fell. A young agent asked her, "How many more?" Solon didn't look away. "Until they stop lying." The agent hesitated. "And if they never stop?" She turned to him slowly. "Then we'll keep going. Until only truth remains. Or silence. Alien worlds. Rebel in the empire of the Valeri, workers marched in the streets. They wore white cloths, the symbol of peace, and chanted, 'No more lies. No more war. We want truth.' For the first time in Valari history, soldiers dropped their weapons. Officers refused orders. One message spread across the planet, seen on every screen. Colony 12 was a lie. The Council knew. And now Earth makes them pay. The Valari Emperor tried to stop it. He failed. By morning, the Empire had fallen, without a single human firing a shot. The Threx, breaking point. The Threx, once the most feared empire, now stood alone. Their colonies burned. Their commanders vanished. Their people starved. In secret, the Threx Queen sent a message to Earth, a full surrender offer. But Earth didn't answer. Instead, one small ship entered Threx orbit. It didn't fire. It simply broadcast one line in every Threx language. Yotua. Took. You lied. Now you pay. Then it disappeared. The Queen screamed in her chamber. Not because of the threat, but because she knew. No answer was worse than war. No answer meant they were still being watched. Inside the silent fleet, a new order aboard the human ship Obsidian Blade, Commander Rhea met with her fleet captains. Their missions were complete. Shipyards burned, data stolen, targets removed. What? Now? One captain asked. Do we stop? Rhea stared at the stars outside. They thought we'd burn out, she said. That we'd get tired. That we wanted revenge. She turned. We don't. We want truth. And truth doesn't rest. The captains nodded, no cheers. No smiles, only purpose. They weren't heroes. They were judgment. Galactic blackout. A new fear. Suddenly, across 5 systems, every communication satellite shut down. No trade signals. No military links. Silence. For 12 hours, nothing worked. Then, every screen came alive with the same human voice. You let them erase our colony. You watched. You said nothing. So now, you hear nothing. Then the signal ended. Every system returned. But something had changed. The empires didn't just fear human ships. They feared being forgotten. Final scene. The map has changed on Earth. President Amara stood with Director Solon, Commander Rhea, and the head of the Silent Fleet. A new galactic map was displayed. Red zones marked enemies. Yellow marked allies. But a new color had appeared. Black. Areas where no empire ruled. No laws. Only silence. One general asked, "What do we call these zones?" Solon answered softly, "Human space." The general frowned. "But we don't live there." Solon's eyes narrowed. "We don't have to. They just know. It belongs to us now." It began as a whisper. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. Holograms froze. Signals dropped. Then, a symbol appeared everywhere. A white circle. Inside it, a black hand, clenched tight. Every species knew it. It was the symbol of humanity's last war. But this time it wasn't followed by weapons. This time, it came with a message. A single voice, calm and cold, echoed in every language. You erased a human colony. You lied. You stayed silent. Now, we speak. The council watches. Helplessly, inside the Grand Council Hall, the diplomats tried to shut down the signal. They couldn't. It was hijacking every system. Military, civilian, private, public, even the emergency lines. Ambassador Ralven of the Threx screamed, "Cut it off!" But the technician shook his head. "We can't. It's coming from everywhere. And nowhere." The voice continued. "This is Earth's final message. After this, there will be no more warnings, no more words. Only action." President Amara's address. The world listens back on Earth. President Amara stood before the galaxy. She wore no armor, no medals, just plain gray clothes. She looked straight into the camera. Her eyes were tired, but steady. "We offered peace. For years we begged for it. You broke it. You destroyed Colony 12. You silenced your own people, and you called it peace. Now, you will understand what silence truly is." The screen shifted to show images. Human graves on a frozen colony. Children in broken domes. A flag buried in ice. Then Amara spoke one last sentence. "After this message, if one more human world is touched, we end the council." Galaxy, in shock. Silence. Across systems, after the broadcast ended, there was no noise, no movement. Even pirate bands and smugglers stopped flying. Empires closed their borders. Colonies shut down their ports. Everyone waited. Would Earth really do it? Would they destroy the council, or was this just a bluff? No one knew, but no one wanted to be the first to test it. Inside the Silent Fleet, a quiet countdown on board the Ia. Human dreadnought Judgment, Commander Rhea stood with her crew. She watched as their mission board lit up red. Target names, locations, coordinates. Everything was ready. One pilot whispered, "Do we really strike the council?" Rhea didn't blink. "Only if they make us." She paused, then added, "But if they do, we don't stop." Alien empires begin to turn. The smaller races, those long used by the council, began to move. On the planet Zova, the people destroyed a council outpost and raised the human symbol. On Atron 4, citizens overthrew their regional governor, demanding to speak with Earth directly. A message spread across darknet systems. Earth doesn't want war. They want justice. If we speak truth, they may spare us. The Council tried to stop the movement. They failed. The galaxy was choosing sides, and many were quietly choosing Earth. The betrayal. A final mistake, but not everyone listened. Deep in Council space, a secret order was given. 3 stealth cruisers were sent toward a small human colony on the edge of neutral space, Haven Reach. The Council believed Earth wouldn't defend such a small place. They were wrong. The moment the cruisers reached Haven Reach, they vanished from every scanner. No wreckage. No signal. Just gone. Hours later, Earth released a message. Your attack failed. Your ships will not be returned. There will be no second warning. The Council's panic. The end. Begins. Inside the Council, chaos returned. Some members begged to surrender. Others called for full war. One leader stood and said, "Do we even know how many of them there are? Their fleets are in our systems before we blink. Their weapons don't leave traces. Their spies are everywhere." Another answered, terrified, "They don't want to rule. They want us gone." That was the moment the Council broke. 4 empires, left within the day. 3 more went silent. The Council was dying, not from bombs, but from fear. Humanity stands alone, and unafraid back on Earth, people watched the galaxy crumble. And didn't cheer. There was no joy in revenge, just silence. Many remembered the faces of Colony 12, the lost, the children, the calls for help that never came. They weren't destroying the Council out of hate. They were removing rot. So no colony, human, or alien, would be erased again. President Amara gave her final speech that night. "We are not conquerors, but we will not be victims. If the stars must burn for peace, then let them burn." Cliffhanger, a secret meeting in the dark in the last scene. Far from the stars, a group of shadowed figures meets on a hidden station. They are not human. They are not council. They are something older. Their eyes glow. Their voices whisper through time. One asks, "Is it time to reveal ourselves?" Another replies, "Not yet. Let the humans finish their war. Let them clean the galaxy." The last voice, deep and ancient, says, "Then, we take what is left." The screen fades to black. The Threx stronghold on Veltorin was known as unbreakable. Massive. Walls. Orbital shields. Hundreds of defense drones. It had never fallen. Until now. At 0300 hours, the stars above Veltorin turned red. Not from fire, but from the arrival of Earth's final fleet. Silent. Fast. Deadly. Within 7 minutes, Veltorin vanished from the maps. No survivors. No warning, only one message left behind. You hid behind walls. You watched us die. Now, the walls fall. Inside the final fleet, humanity's justice. Begins Commander Rhea walked through the bridge of the judgment. The stars outside were calm. But inside the ship, her crew prepared for war. They were not angry. They were focused. Every ship had a list. Targets that helped cover up Colony 12's destruction. Factories that built weapons. Stations that jammed human signals. Leaders who sent others to die. Now, Earth was crossing those names off, one by one. The first strike. No mercy for the guilty on the world Calvaron, the capital of the Zoth Dominion. The Council's 3rd highest member sat in his tower. He had ordered the blackout on Earth's plea for help. He thought he was safe. But at 0400 hours, a single human drop pod pierced the sky. It wasn't a bomb. It was a warning. A small AI drone flew through the streets, broadcasting live. It said only one thing: "Your time is up." Then the tower exploded from the inside. No human was ever seen. But the message was clear. If you helped bury the truth, you would not live to hide again. Alien panic. Evacuations and surrenders across the galaxy, council planets began to fall apart. Leaders vanished, outposts shut down, military units refused to fight. On the world of Cherax, civilians ran into the streets waving white flags and signs marked with the human peace symbol. One message scrolled across a massive building screen. "We didn't hurt Colony 12. We just want to live." The humans didn't strike. Instead, a single box landed gently in the city square. Inside it, food, medicine, and a data chip. The chip said, "You are not our enemies, but we see everything." Council's final meeting, collapse from within. The last 8 members of the council met in a hidden station near the Black Star Ore 7. The room was dark, silent. None wore their robes. None gave speeches. They were afraid. One finally spoke. "What do we do?" Another whispered, "We pray that Earth shows mercy." But there was no mercy left because that very station had already been marked. At that moment, a small human ship outside locked on, not with weapons, but with light. A beam scanned the station. Then, in perfect calm, a voice echoed in every room. "You watched a world die. Now your time ends." The explosion wasn't large, just enough to erase the last seat of power, and just like that, the council was gone. Back on Earth, victory without celebration. On Earth, President Amara stood in the war room. Her generals gave her updates. Targets eliminated. Resistance gone. She didn't smile. She asked only one question. Did we make them understand? Director Solon nodded. "We didn't destroy planets. We didn't erase cities. We removed the disease." Amara looked to the stars and whispered, "Then maybe we have earned silence." Survivors speak. Galaxy reacts. Across the stars, something new happened. For the first time, people told the truth. A captain from the Uran race made a public video. "I followed orders. I ignored the call from Colony 12. I thought it wasn't my problem. Now I see. Silence is not peace. Silence is death." Others followed. Soon, thousands of aliens, all different species, shared stories of guilt, of fear, of lies they once told, and always the message ended the same. "We see now. Earth was right. The burn marks remain, but so does hope many." Stars still glowed red, scarred by war. Shipwrecks floated in orbit. Ruins burned quietly. But something strange happened in every place the humans had struck. They came back, not with guns, but with engineers, with doctors, with builders. On the ashes of the old council, Earth planted seeds of peace, not forced, offered. A chance for a new kind of galaxy. Cliffhanger ending. The true enemy watches far beyond. The known stars, deep in a dark zone, something ancient watched. Inside a hollow moon, a being with silver eyes turned to its kin. "They've done our work," it said. "They broke the old order." Another asked, "Is it time to rise?" The silver-eyed one smiled. "Not yet. Let them think they've won. When their hope is highest, we strike." Then all lights in the hollow moon went out. For the first time in decades, space was calm. No fleets moved, no war signals, no broadcasts. The galaxy held its breath. The council was gone. The power structures were broken. And Earth stood alone. But peace didn't feel like peace. Not yet. Because something else was coming. Something hidden, and humanity could feel it in their bones. Rebuilding begins. But questions remain on Earth. Cities worked hard to repair. War factories turned into supply centers. Drones once built for destruction now helped clean up old battlefields. President Amara met daily with her team. She asked the same question every time. Did we go too far? Her generals always answered, "We did what was needed." But the idea... People asked different things. Who was really behind the blackout at Colony 12? Why did the council act with such fear? What were they hiding? And most importantly, was it truly over? The signal, a warning from the unknown, then. The signal came from deep space, far beyond the council's old borders, farther than any human had traveled. It wasn't a message, it was a pulse, a wave of energy. Every sensor picked it up. Ships lost power for 3 seconds. Satellites blinked out. AI systems reset. When power returned, one word repeated across every screen. Observe. The hidden race reveals itself. A few hours later, a dark moon on the edge of the galaxy lit up. Not with explosions, with movement. Hundreds of sleek, silent ships rose from its surface. They bore no flags, no names, only a glowing symbol, a spiral, inside a circle. Humanity had never seen it before, but ancient races had. The Alaran, the Ven, the old Threx priests. They called them the Watchers, beings that never interfered. Until now, the Watchers speak, a terrible truth. A single transmission was sent to Earth. A calm, emotionless voice spoke in perfect English. You were not meant to rise so soon. You were supposed to fall like the others. But you endured. You fought. You broke the chains. Now, we will test your right to exist. The message ended with coordinates. A place in deep space, far but reachable. Earth had a choice. Ignore the call and stay safe, or fly into the unknown. The mission. One ship, one chance. President Amara didn't hesitate. We face this head on. No more waiting, no more silence. The dreadnought judgment was chosen. Commander Rhea took the mission. Her orders were simple. Go to the coordinates. Listen. Survive. As the ship left orbit, the entire world watched. Billions of eyes on one ship, one journey. What they found, a test of will. At the edge of known space, judgment entered a dead zone. No stars, no sound. Then, a station appeared, old, massive, made of stone and light. Voice spoke in their minds. This is the Hall of Truth. All great empires come here before they fall. You may ask one question, and we will ask one in return. Commander Rhea stepped forward. She asked, why did the Council let Colony 12 die? The answer came fast. Because they feared you, your fire, your freedom. You were never meant to survive. Then the Watchers asked, and now, human, what will you do with power? Rhea stood silent. Then she answered, protect, not control. Not rule, but protect those who cannot fight back. Judgment is past, the future unlocked. There was silence. Then the ancient voice spoke once more. That is the correct answer. We will not stop you, but others will. Build wisely, watch the stars. The real war has not yet begun. And then the station vanished. Just like that, returned to Earth, a new chapter. Begins. When judgment returned, the people cheered. But it was not a victory parade. It was a beginning. Earth started building not just warships, but schools, libraries, starports for all species. Humans reached out to old enemies. Some responded, others stayed silent. But no one dared test Earth again. Not yet. Because now, they knew. Humanity was not just strong, humanity was watching. Final scene. A lonely message to the stars. A quiet room, President Amara recorded one last message. It was not for the Council, not for the Watchers, not even for other species. It was for the stars themselves. We were broken. We rose. We remembered every cry unheard. We burned the skies to make them listen. And now, we will guard what we once lost. We are humanity, and we do not run anymore. She paused, then added, let the stars watch us now. The screen faded to black.